Ludacris is headlining the Players Military Appreciation Day concert today to honor local service members at TPC Sawgrass. The event will take place at 4:30 on the Island Green 17th hole. That's your 1010XL local sports update. I'm Sam Nelson.
Right now, 73 degrees at 10 o'clock. Time and 10 brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
Parker Washington!
Parker backs up, fields it at the 15-yard line. Made a man miss, 25-yard line, 30-yard line. That's good return by Parker Washington. Still on his feet, 50, 40, 30, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown!
Parker Washington did exactly what he was doing at the end of the season all through training camp. He was balling.
Parker Washington open field, 50, 45, 40, 30, along the right sideline. Cuts it back to the middle of the field, 20, 15, now back to the right side, to the 10-yard line. Parker Washington to the 10-yard line of the Denver Broncos.
Just done an awesome job with every opportunity he's gotten, and now you look at his role and what he's been doing for our offense. It's been huge, and just his ability to run every route, to run after the catch, all those hidden yards that he's finding after the catch has been really big for us. So we got to continue to find ways to get him the ball.
Caught for the touchdown! The ball's gonna be caught! Touchdown! Caught for the touchdown! Parker Washington caught it in the left corner of the end zone.
I feel like a big thing for me too is that connection with Trevor. Continue to see that grow, continue to get closer with him. It would be nice to continue to build that connection and continue to become closer, not just as a teammates, but hopefully we can be closer friends as well. That helps.
He's one of the first guys in the building every single day. He's soft-spoken. He's quiet, on the quiet side. He doesn't really talk smack. He doesn't really say a ton all the time. He just does, and he's a baller.
Running room for Parker Washington, 45, 40, 30, along the right sideline. Parker Washington, he's going to bring it back. Parker Washington, touchdown Jacksonville.
When you get those opportunities and you make the most of them in them rooms that you're not in, and those conversations I had with the quarterback and the head coach, the one who called the plays, they're going to start dialing specifically for you. Understanding what your strengths are and what you're good at and what you can do, they're going to put the ball in your hands.
Parker Washington is an absolute stud.
Now, Jaguars Today on 1010XL with Mike Dempsey, Fat Tony, and RJ Saunders.
All right, good morning, everybody, and welcome out to the Players' Championship Tuesday practice rounds going on today. It is a free agency negotiating time, not tampering necessarily. I don't know if it's tampering if you're allowed to do it, but regardless, teams are making contract proposals and agreeing to terms with a variety of free agents. Jags, from what I saw, one of 4 teams that have yet to sign a guy from outside the organization so far this cycle. Those teams that have yet to do that have averaged 11 wins last year. So 4 very good teams, including your Jacksonville Jaguars. Good morning, everybody. I'm Mike Dempsey along with Tony Smith. Tony.
Good morning.
How was the hike out to the what is this? The
Trucks on 10.
Trucks on 10. I knew it was an alliterative name.
Yeah.
And I couldn't come up with trucks right there. I knew we were on the 10th hole. How are things? Beautiful day.
Oh, it's nice.
Here,
yeah.
right? You got a ride out
I did.
this morning?
Yeah.
Lucky.
Yeah.
I made the hike. So different spot if you were used to visiting us the last few years.
Yeah.
If you come up like from the 10th tee box and you walk down towards the fairway on the 10th hole, off to your right is a little area off in the trees called Trucks on 10. They've got a variety of food trucks serving, great options out here. They do have a lot of different food options, that's for sure. And as you walk in, if you look to your immediate left, you'll see that white tent that Tony and I are holding court in for the rest of the week, along with the rest of the 1010 XL crew. RJ Saunders, good morning to you back at World Headquarters.
Good morning, guys. What's the haps?
Are you a Players Championship guy? Do you make it out here every year? What's your story?
I went to the Players Championship once. I think it was either 2019, maybe. A lot of walking, very hot. I don't know if it's for me. Mike Dempsey, with all that
You're
walking.
you're not built for the walking, is
No.
what you're saying.
I didn't even know where to go. Like, where am I supposed to go? You know,
Well, that's a really good question, honestly. I mean, it's usually one of two things. Either you pick a group to follow and you find out where their tee time is or when their tee, and you just follow that group, you know, if it's got some star power, or you pick any number of great viewing locales, whether it's the 17th hole. I always used to like Tony going behind the 13th green. You could see the 13th, the par 3 play out, and then you could turn around, watch everybody tee off down the fairway on 14. I like that spot. There are a ton of good spots out here, though.
Oh, yeah.
But if you haven't been and you don't know them, it takes you a little while to find your favorite kind of.
I think at the end of the day, like, Mike, I think I just stood at like at 17. I just said, you know what? I'm just going to post here. They say this is the hole. This is the spot. I'm pitching my flag right here.
It kind of is the spot. I mean, it's what it's known for. So anyway, all that stuff. Hopefully, we'll have the defending champ in the field this year, Rory McIlroy, dealing with some back issues. So we'll see how that all works out. We know this: the Jaguars will not have Travis Etienne and Devin Lloyd back with them this year. Tony, I don't know if people are shocked or disappointed. It is interesting because you look on social media and everyone's different, and you get used to, you know, a certain mindset, but it certainly seemed like there are a lot of people that were surprised that they were going to lose these guys based on their reaction yesterday. I think the surprise was for Devin Lloyd that the number came in at $15 million per year when, you know, the franchise tag number was up in the high 20s, which you're saying we're never going to see that happen because all those edge rushing outside linebackers and 3-4 defenses drive that number up. But I didn't think it would be 15. You know, when Nakobe Dean, who's had just a variety of season-ending type injuries, is getting $12 million. White Walker got more than Devin Lloyd, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
3 years, 40.5 for Quay.
Oh, was it 340.5? Okay, so a little bit less. I think I was looking at a different number. There it is. Yeah, I got it right in front of me. So ballpark about the same. I think the market was probably lower than these guys expected, or maybe we were just expecting it to be a little bit too high. Clearly, I think the Jags could have cleared $15 million in cap space to make it, and you probably wouldn't have needed 15 this year to re-sign Devin Lloyd. Yeah, I do. But did they feel that the formula of everything that goes into it, because keep in mind, okay, I lower that cap number this year. That means it's got to be much higher each of the next couple of years. And even if you move on from him after 2 years, you're planning on having him here next year. Yesterday, we talked about all those guys are going to be extension eligible. It's a multi-year kind of process, and I just believe it came down to the Jags didn't feel he was worth that number. To them, in their system, they feel like another linebacker, their system could produce good results with that. Was there some wonder? Was Devin Lloyd somewhat of a one-year wonder, you know, and put it all together in a contract year? I don't know, but do I think the Jags could have fit this contract in? Yes. So that tells me that the Jaguars didn't think it was worth it to their overall picture to do that, because I do think they could have gotten this done with Devin Lloyd. Whether that turns out to be the right decision or not, time will tell, but I think it's pretty clear from their kind of non-committal way that they addressed it at the season-ending press conference on Devin Lloyd. Some other guys, you know, they say, oh, you know, Trayvon's the kind of guy you want to have around here forever, and da-da-da-da-da. And they were not. They're very much, we'll see what happens, kind of with Devin Lloyd. You know, I think in the back of their mind, they knew the likelihood of him returning to Jacksonville was very low. I just think, had he signed for $18 a year, I don't think it would have been as surprising to people, but it's the price tag that people are reacting to.
Yeah, I think all of us would love to know what the Jaguars' best offer was to Devin Lloyd, right? And how far away it actually was from what he wound up getting.
Sure.
You know, to go to Carolina. I think a lot of people would be willing to match the offer that Carolina made, and that's where whatever frustration there is from the fans seems to be piled up is I would have been willing to do that. Well, you're not Gladstone.
Obviously, they weren't.
Right, and the front office. And I do think, you know, we've talked about it a lot over the course of the last several weeks since the season ended and we started taking a look at what the Jags would have available to him in free agency with trying to get Etienne and Devin Lloyd back. And I said it every time, like to the side, when we would bring up that franchise number with Devin Lloyd, I was like, I looked at it. And if you look at the actual guys who play a position like he does, the number on his contract ought to be somewhere in 16 or 17. That's where the other contracts around the league at these off-ball linebacker spots, that's where that looks like it should be to me. And I would be willing to make that kind of offer. It's right around, obviously, where it wound up being at 15. It's so rare in the National Football League to get to free agency at any position, and for the rationality about the terms on some of these deals to come into play. But at the off-ball linebacker spot, it obviously did. Right? They didn't look at the franchise numbers for these guys and say, that's what we're working off of. They said, this is what we're willing to pay an off-ball linebacker. So a bunch of teams that had a guy like Devin Lloyd, who maybe they would like to keep, but their only way to keep him without anybody being able to talk to him was the franchise number. And they were like, well, that's not going to happen. Whatever the best offer was that were made by a bunch of these teams, including Philadelphia with a guy like Nakobe Dean, obviously wasn't enough for them to not want to hear what the rest of the league was going to say to him. I think everyone got too caught up in the connecting the franchise number to where it would actually land for these guys when they got to free agency. And the truth has been told on that with the contracts they actually got.
For sure. And look, it's not that, the franchise number's up in the high 20s, right? So I don't think anybody was projecting anything around that range.
But 21, 22
right, because you do see Fred Warner getting a deal in that range, and whether or not the next guy up is worth that, that's sometimes the economics of it. That's
usually the one they work off of.
And right, and you get it to work off of. Look at this number. Kwity Paye, right?
Yeah.
Who's never done a damn thing as a pass rusher in the National Football League, gets 3 years, $48 million. $32 million guaranteed. I mean, that's when they say be smart and don't splash your money around in free agency. It's that kind of signing to me. Kwity Paye for $16 million a year is absolutely absurd. But when you're a team like the Raiders and you got
it to splash.
You've got all kinds of money. They're trying to make a quick turnaround, obviously. So we're going to talk Jaguar free agency today for what it's worth. The big news has been the retention of 3 of their players and, really not connected to anybody in the first day of free agency. And we'll find out if day 2 brings anything differently. Today, we'll hear from Buster Brown, Dennis Gardeck, and Quentin Morris, all re-signing deals with the Jags. They all spoke yesterday on their thought process and why they opted to stay in Jacksonville. So we'll hear from those guys. Hayes Carline's going to join us in hour number 2 to talk day 1 of NFL free agency, a little on the Players Championship perhaps as well. And today, being a Tuesday, we've got a top 5 for you. Pretty straightforward. We told you yesterday this is probably where it's going to go. Waited until last night to see when the dust settled. Devin Lloyd's gone. Travis Etienne's gone. Maybe you already factored that in, but where are the Jags' top 5 needs this moment, today, this morning, Tuesday morning? How do you rank the top 5 needs for the Jags? We'll run through those a little bit later on in hour number 1. But when we return, let's hear from Buster Brown and others who opted to make Jacksonville their home for at least several more years of their NFL career. Mike Dempsey and Tony Smith live at Trucks on 10, just outside Trucks on 10. So stop by and say hello. Just do us one favor. If you see us talking into the microphone, wait until we're on the break before you come up. But I guarantee that won't happen, at least with everybody. And that's just kind of how it rolls out here. And maybe, just maybe, we'll get R.J. Saunders to make his second visit out to the hallowed grounds out here in Ponte Vedra at some point this week. You're listening to Jaguars Today. If you'd like to be a part of it, 641-1010 on the Key Buick GMC phone lines or on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. You can check us out in our little white tent streaming video on YouTube, on X, and on Facebook, and hit us up on the socials at MD_1010XL, at 1010XL Fat Tony, and at RHAS No J. I'm still waiting for it, but that's why I kept it to myself right there. No, all right, we are underway. Jaguars Today live at the Players. Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, and R.J. Saunders here with you on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars
Today.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL.
You know what the secret of life is? One thing. Just one thing.
And what's that?
1010XL.
Looking for adventure? Need a machine that works as hard as you do? CF Moto has you covered. At Ride Now Beach Boulevard, we've got CF Moto ATVs and UTVs built for any task, any trail, anytime. Tear up the dirt with the trail-tested C-Force ATV lineup or conquer through terrain with a Z-Force UTV. Find your CF Moto ride today at Ride Now Beach Boulevard or visit ridenowbeachboulevard.com. ATVs and UTVs are for riders 16 and older. They can be hazardous to operate. CF Moto recommends an improved safety training course.
Are high-interest credit cards and other loans sucking the life out of your finances? It's time to say no more. Let Loan Pronto tap the equity on your home and get the cash you need now so you can pay it all off. Hey, it's Prosser here. Corey and Jack called Loan Pronto in a matter of days. They had $160,000. They kept their 3% mortgage intact, didn't even need an appraisal, and with all that cash, they wiped out all their credit cards and 2 car loans, saving $2,000 a month. You can do it too. LoanPronto.com. Their rapid equity loan program can get you $100,000, $200,000, even $500,000 in cash. Chloe and Ethan just did it. Consolidated all their high-interest debt into one super low monthly payment, giving them an extra $1,000 a month. Imagine, pay off all the credit cards, slash your monthly payments, breathe easier. Get your life back. Interest rates are at 3-year lows. Call Loan Pronto today, 904-999-1500. That's 904-999-1500. Or go to loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781. Visit NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Get the real story from people who know the beautiful game best. The Coaches Show, presented by Sporting Jacks with Cole Pepper, Sporting Jacks head of soccer Mark Warburton, and Sporting Jacks women's coach Stacey Ballum. Tuesday nights at 6
on 1010 a.m.
Get your Irish up. The first St. Patrick's Parade was right here in St. Augustine in the year 1601. Join the fun Saturday, March the 14th at 10 a.m. Be sure and wear your green proudly. More at CelticParade.com. Sponsored by Central County TDC.
Coach Campo here, and I just want to tell you about the best pizza I've had right here in Duval, and that's Tony D's Pizza. Tony works hard to make every slice perfect. If you love pizza like I do, you need to go to Tony D's, Bay Meadows and 295.
This is Frank Frangie for the farm in Okefenokee. Can you imagine owning a handcrafted cabin tucked into a 1,000-acre regenerative farm? Imagine enjoying fresh produce from the garden, fruit from the orchard, meats from the smokehouse. Every meal is a true farm-to-table experience all year long. Belong to a place where your family can choose nature over screens, spending their days feeding animals, picking berries, and fishing in the farm's pond. Learn more at okefarm.com. That's okefarm.com.
It's tune-up time, and Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars, wants to partner with you for a cool summer season. Tune up your AC unit right now so it's running at peak performance when you need it most. Just call 777-4300 and order a tune-up for just $59. Keep your unit humming at optimal level. Log on to FloridaHomeAC.com and take advantage of their savings. Keep cool with Florida Home AC. That's 777-4300.
At G&H Tires and Service, the G stands for great pricing. The H, well, that means honest service. For over 20 years, Roger and his team have helped Jacksonville drivers stay safe on the road. Need brakes? Oil change? AC not blowing cold? Well, how about a super affordable $36 oil change? Affordable brake jobs, AC checks before summer hits, alignments for all these construction roads, and even free check engine light inspections. Locally owned, community driven. G&H Tires and Service on Beach Boulevard.
Ace Carline here for Atlantic Infiniti, and yes, I'm still loving my new QX60. Right now, you can lease one or lock in just 1.9% financing for 60 months, and every new Infiniti comes with the Atlantic Infiniti Promise. That's over $7,000 in added value. That's one of many reasons why I bought mine there. No pressure, no games, just a great experience. Make your next ride an Infiniti from Atlantic Infiniti. Visit AtlanticInfiniti.com or the showroom near Atlantic and St. John's Bluff.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Everything you need to know about the Jags. Jaguars today on 1010XL.
I can't speak for anybody but myself, Tone. As the news was coming down yesterday, I will admit, that's the most I've ever watched Pat McAfee's show on ESPN. I usually am like instant click off. I'm not, but they had all the NFL insiders on ESPN weighing in, and they were breaking the news as it was happening. So it was kind of fun to play along, and you hear Travis Etienne agrees to terms to go to New Orleans, which makes some sense for him, right? Kansas City is said to be a suitor. They went after Super Bowl MVP Kenneth Walker and got him signed to a deal. Etienne's from that area, so he kind of gets to go home. He mentioned didn't want to play in cold weather. He ain't built for that. Well, he doesn't have to worry about that in the NFC South, and he's playing indoors there. And, and as I watch it, I'm like, 13 touchdowns walking out the door doesn't mean we'll instantly be able to replace that. But I do have confidence that Bajal Tootin can be a really, really good player in this offense for them. In fact, I think the Jags, when they drafted him, thought he'd be starting the season as their starting running back. I think Etienne really surprised them with his level of play in the offseason. It was neck and neck with he and Bigsby for a while, or at least it seemed to be that way. And then he was a really good fit in the offense as a pass catcher. Talking with Hick and Prosser, Tone, only a couple 100-yard games. There are different ways you can look at it, but the bottom line is he got the ball in the end zone 13 times. That is one of the keys to winning games is putting points up on the board. But as the news came down, I didn't feel that oh, man, I knew it was coming, but it's a gut punch anyway, because I do have confidence in Tootin. And even if they don't sign a veteran at this point, if it's Tootin, LaQuint Allen, DJ Dallas, and a rookie that they draft going into camp, I'm not that worried about it at that position. The Devin Lloyd contract, I saw, all right, Carolina got him. Well, we're going to lose Lloyd. And then when I saw the numbers, I was like, man, if I could have one back for 1 year, it would have made more sense, to try to bring a running back for 1 year and run the wheels off of him kind of thing. But if I could have one back, it would be Devin Lloyd, and it's just not going to happen. And, that's where the Jags put the value. But, it's like sometimes when two teams are playing that are not your team, you turn it on, and after about a minute, you're like, exactly who you're rooting for. You weren't quite sure.
For sure.
And then you're like, no, there's no way I can root for that team. I wasn't sure how I'd feel about it, the way it played out. And, I'm like a lot of people. I think the Jags could have got that number done. But, again, that signals to me that they didn't think it was worth getting it done at that number or making the moves that they would have to do to create the space to allow that to happen. And I think they've earned the right for us to at least give them the benefit of the doubt. We can question it, but I'm not going to sit here and say they're crazy for doing it because crazy doesn't get you from 4 wins to 13 wins in one season.
Yeah, I've already seen some fans reacting to it with something along the lines of the Jags are always letting their good players walk anyway. This is no different. And in my head, I'm like, those are the kind of fans that you can't get them to see when they actually bring guys back. Right, they did re-sign a bunch of guys. They've done that, right? So it's not like all the players are leaving. They're in a position right now where they are limited in what they can do with money to bring back a couple of guys that I think I would love to know what offers they made to both those guys.
Yeah.
Right, like Etienne and Devin Lloyd. Lloyd especially because of where the number wound up being, right? That I don't think there was any chance they were ever going to match that money for Etienne. Right, it was just too much. And the 4 years, all of it, it was just too much.
It's funny. If we had found out, let's say we had a great mole in the negotiations, and I don't even know what point it got to, that the Jags had offered Devin Lloyd 3 years, $36 million, right? Just a week ago, if you had said that's the best offer on the table, we would have been like, come on, man. He's not going to sign for that.
Yeah.
And then he gets $3 million more per year. Could you have bridged that gap? And again, I don't even know if the Jags had the money to go that far, if they even made a significant offer to Devin Lloyd. So again, that just tells me, do I think they could have bridged the gap? Yes, but in the end, it's not just can we retain Lloyd. Then it's like, do we have the money to do this and that?
Right.
And we've got other guys to sign to extensions. I mean, look at the guys we talked about it yesterday that are coming up next year, like Parker Washington and Brenton Strange and Trayvon Walker. And they're going to be a bunch of guys, and Anton Harrison.
Well, and we know, that we're going to get into our top fives today. And somewhere on somebody's list is going to be running back and linebacker, I imagine. Right, where we're going to be able to talk about these two positions in a lot of depth when we're going through, that list this morning. And I think when you look at both these spots where they are losing players that were not just on the team last year, they had major impact on the team last year. So how do you replace that impact? right, on the roster going into 26 compared to what you had in 25. I think it would be hard to imagine that you could expect Devin Lloyd to have the same kind of season in 26 that he had in 25. Right, from an impact standpoint, I think that when we get done with Devin Lloyd's career, after whatever happens in Carolina, everything else, I think Jaguars fans that it is very likely you just saw Devin Lloyd in the best season of his career. Right, like I think that is very likely to be the outcome. That doesn't mean he can't get better, right, as he goes over to Carolina, but the year was so good. I mean, a guy that halfway through the year we were talking about maybe being in the conversation for defensive player of the year.
No doubt.
You know, like that is a ridiculous standard for a guy to set for himself going forward. And as you mentioned, Etienne, with the amount of touchdowns that he scored, you know, from a Jaguars running back perspective, I look at it and say, can they bring in somebody that can come in and play the role that Tootin played last year? Right? Just get somebody else a little bit of work. Right? Our feature guy is going to be Tootin, and he's earned it. Like, you want him to get in that position and show the kind of work that we saw from Etienne or something approaching it so that you don't feel like, well, let's see what the other guy can do, right? And Etienne never let that door come open at all with the way that he played last year. We were all waiting. You know, from the early part of the season until about halfway through the year, we were all waiting. It's like, when are they going to make Tootin the feature back?
Yeah.
And Etienne just kept kicking the door closed. There was never an opportunity to go do something in that direction. Can they bring in somebody that Tootin has to keep kicking the door closed is essentially how I look at it.
Well, I mean, they could still go the veteran route and go with like a Rashad White. I don't know how much that would cost. I don't know how much what their thinking is on the running back position.
Right.
They may just go straight to the fourth round of the draft and pull a guy out of the draft and add him to the mix and say, this is what we're going with. And we've got two guys. And if that's the case, I still feel better about that spot than I do about the linebacking core as a whole right now. But anyway, we'll get into those top fives as we go along. Let's hear from Buster Brown. Speaking yesterday after he agreed to terms to come back with the Jacksonville Jaguars on a 3-year deal. And now with him coming back, obviously you can have most of the cornerback room back. Greg Newsome, by the way, agreed to terms on a 1-year deal with the Giants. Got 1 year, $10 million bucks for Newsome out there. So he didn't exactly, $10 million bucks, a lot of real money. It's funny, in the NFL, you had to settle for 1 year, $10 million. But that's kind of what it is. If you were, more sought after commodity, you'd have multiple teams going after you. You'd probably have the opportunity for a multi-year deal. Anyway, here's Buster Brown on keeping the core of the secondary in Jacksonville with him signing his deal.
The chemistry is always strong. It just built even more. We all got a connection. We all play good together. Just to keep that going, it just means a lot. And, man, the sky's the limit.
We do, talk about the improvement so many guys made in year one. What about just, it's like being a rookie, right? You kind of don't know what you don't know, right? And you learn about it, and you're so much more prepared in year two. I think that can be the same case with a veteran, Tony, learning somebody's system for the first time. And you come in and you're like, okay, we had to go through these growing pains, whatever the case. Now, when we come in right after the draft for our first OTAs, we're going to be ready to go, at least in terms of what we're expected to know.
No doubt about it. Buster also yesterday was asked about looking at the Jaguars situation and his situation as a free agent coming up here. If he waited another day, he would have been, right? For Buster, he would have heard what the whole league had to say about him and how they valued him. But the question he was asked was, what's the goal to stay here in Jacksonville the whole time going through the process?
Yes, sir, man. It feels great, man. It feels unbelievable to get things done and, to stay here, man. I enjoyed my time here since I've been here, and, man, we got something special here, and just to continue that, man, it feels great.
And one quick follow-up on that. So, all right, the goal was to stay here. What was it specifically about the fit that made Buster Brown opt to take that deal?
Just somewhere I always wanted to be. I got drafted here. Jaguars took a chance on a 7-rounder. And, man, I enjoyed my time since I've been here. And, man, just play with these guys, these coaches, this organization, man, it just means a lot to me. And I want to continue that.
All right, well, all the feel-good stuff's over now. You got your money. Now go out there and play the best football of your career. I think he did last year, Tony. I think that's why he got that deal. And, people say, how are you letting good ball players out the door? They think Monteric Brown is an ascending player at a position of importance. Look, if you're going to rank – if you had a guy who's equally good at every position, I think you'd rank corner number 1. You would rank probably running back slightly ahead of off-ball linebacker, but maybe they'd be close, and it would depend on the player. But corner would be one of your premium positions. And you look at the advanced metrics of Monteric Brown playing zone defense last year. He was among the literal best in the league. The best in the league, not just the best on the Jaguars, not just the best in the AFC South or anything like that. Like, he graded out extremely well. They think he's got a lot of growth. They think he's coming into his best football, and it's at a more premium position. That's just the way it is. I saw people this morning debating we were quick to give that money to Cole Van Lanen, and we couldn't come up with that money for Devin Lloyd. Well, Cole Van Lanen's going to be your left tackle. And it's quarterback, it's left tackle, it's corner, it's pass rush as your top spots, and wide receiver. Right there, but those are the cream of the crop where you want to invest your money and find difference makers. Let's hope that Monteric Brown proves to be that going forward.
Like, even the whole conversation we have about interior defensive line and where they need to improve, the thing circling around that entire conversation is they need more pass rush from the guys on the inside of the defensive line.
They need more pass rush, period. Right. And we think that by getting pushed there, that's going to help across the board.
So when we talk about that, it's not just on the edge. It's that they didn't get anything from the interior, and they have a couple guys on the outside that are at least look like they're pretty good, right? So that seems to be where it would be easiest for them to improve, would be somewhere on the interior. But as we've talked about several times, it's not easy to find anybody on the interior of a defensive line that can give you anything. Like, it's just hard to find.
No. John Franklin Myers, by the way, stinks. Okay, now that he's agreed to terms with the Tennessee Titans,
yeah, talk about teams splashing money around.
Hey, look, that's
we all knew it would happen.
It was seen as coming. He had spent some time with Robert Saleh. You know, Saleh's leaning into those connections. They got the money to spend, and let's hope that they spend it on the wrong guys, right? That they overpay guys who had their own sets of career years going down. I will say, I am happy. I don't know how Devin Lloyd's going to fare. I'm glad that the two of them are out of the conference, he and Etienne, and we don't have to see them on a regular basis, you know, and let's leave it at that. All right, we'll come back. Dennis Gardeck, Quentin Morris, a couple of other guys the Jags are bringing back on new contracts. We'll hear from their reaction or hear their reaction to the news that they were able to work out terms with the Jags. 641-1010 if you want to get in and weigh in. We're keeping an eye on it. I expect it to be a pretty quiet morning. In fact, we may get to Wednesday with nothing happening for the Jags until we get to kind of that second wave, or then again, maybe we'll get some massive trade news in the next 3 minutes. You just don't know, and it's kind of fun when they keep us guessing. Hayes Carline will join us in hour number 2. What is your reaction to day one of the legal negotiating window for free agency? We'll get to our top 5s coming up after this audio as well. A lot to do live at the Players. Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, and RJ Saunders on Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today.
You're at the home of the Jaguars in the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Door Studios. Superior products, exceptional service. Streaming live from the XL Digital Studios. Polished by Harbor Dental Care, the locally owned smile restoration experts.
All right, Jacksonville, you know spring has officially arrived when the pollen's flying, the grass is growing, and your septic system starts thinking about getting your attention. Trust me, a simple pump out now can save you from a disaster that'll have the whole neighborhood holding their noses. That's why you call Duck Duck Rooter the only master septic contractor in Northeast Florida. Real pros, not somebody guessing with a shovel. Right now, schedule your spring septic clean and get $50 off septic tank pumping. So when you're stuck, call the Duck, 904-862-6769 or duckduckrooter.com.
Living on Amelia Island, having fun in Fernandina Beach? No matter what brings you to the fun, cozy town, make sure you check out the tap room at Mocama Beer Company. With a full flight of craft creations, from the Cosmico IPA to the Motor, the perfect Pilsners and Lagers, matching memories and some Mocama magic is what it's all about. Mocama Beer Company in Fernandina Beach, near the big water where the sun is born. And look for more Mocama craft at your local Total Wine or ABC Liquors.
Frank Frangie here. Nimnik Buick GMC is proud to be the #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville, earned by treating customers with courtesy, respect, and fairness. All part of Nimnik's Treating You Right guarantee. The most Buicks, GMCs, and Jacksonville's only Car Bravo dealer, nobody but Nimnik. For 3 generations, Nimnik has been the place customers keep coming back to. They treat you right, and they give a bunch back to the community. Visit NimnikBuickGMC.com today to learn more, or visit their showroom off Phillips Highway. GMC, we are professional grade.
Beat the spring cleaning rush and call our cleaning heroes at Zero Res. Hey, Hicken here. Springing forward feels better on freshly cleaned carpets and floors. Let Zero Res remove lingering grime and prepare your home for the brighter days ahead. Check out all of the raging customer reviews online. 4.9 Google rating. This month, $50 per room of carpet clean. Let's take 25% off hard floor cleaning. Hardwood tile LVP when you ask for the 1010XL special. Call 904-287-5727 or go online at zeroresjacksonville.com. Spell it forward or backward. It spells the same. Zero Res.
Ready to put your dream car in drive? Get solid rates for the road ahead when you finance with First Florida Credit Union. Enjoy competitive low rates, up to 90 days of no payments, and budget-friendly protection plans. Whether you're buying a vehicle or refinancing, stop by a branch or apply online at firstflorida.org/autoloans. Membership eligibility required. Interest accrues during loan payment deferral period. Federally insured by NCUA. Visit firstflorida.org/autoloans.
We've all been there. You hear about an incredible event Monday morning, but it happens Sunday. Stop missing out. Jacksonville is the flip side of Florida, and we have the solution. From under-the-radar sporting events to the perfect family outing or date night, Visit Jacksonville is your all-access pass to the city. Plan your 2026 season at visitjacksonville.com/locals. Visitjacksonville.com/locals. Or download the Visit Jax app for the full lineup. See what you've been missing.
At the First Coast YMCA, there's no place like this place, with programs and experiences that will bring your whole family together. Summer will be here before we know it, and Y Summer Day Camp registration is now open. Visit your local Y to secure your child's spot early for a season full of memories and adventure. Don't delay. Day camps will fill up. There's no place like this place, so visit your local Y to sign up or online at fcymca.org. Search Summer Day Camp.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville, and you got some really cool events coming up in your showroom on Atlantic near Regency.
We've got some exciting things. All new Euro motorcycle, fresh out of the box. I've never seen it. Some demo days. We got Sully here to give us the detail.
Yes, so March 12th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. we have a Euro demo day. Come out, test ride, and see if this is your next bike you're going to get.
Very exciting stuff. All new Euro. You're going to want to see this. Everybody loves sidecars.
Want more details? Check out Cycles of Jacksonville on Facebook and their Instagram page.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Everything you need to know about the Jags. Jaguars today on 1010XL.
Yeah, so, Tone, you never know. It's funny. We say it all the time. We meet people in Jacksonville that have never set foot inside Everbank. And I think in our line of work, we just assume, everybody gets to at least one game, every year or whatever. Clearly, that's not the case, right? And that's fine. Yeah. And that I'm not making a judgment on anybody's financial situation or anything like that. It's just different. So I walk in this morning, and I got a Jaguar logo golf shirt on, and the guy at the metal detector goes, "Hey, how the Jags going to do this year?" I said, I don't know if they'll win 13 games, but they're going to be pretty good." And he goes, "Didn't they just lose their quarterback or something?" I'm like, "Oh boy, here's somebody is definitely following along every." I said, "You mean Etienne?" Yeah. Oh yeah, he's a running back. Oh, okay, all right. So I don't know if they really cared as much, and that's the thing about the players too. They bring in a lot of people from other areas, like the bus driver today, the shuttle drivers from Atlanta. Yeah. And those guys make the trip and come down every year and work for a week, and
they do, and
go on. So I have no idea if the guy's just trying to be polite because I've got a Jaguar shirt and a backpack with me. It could be that, but trying to make some conversation. But I had to. Then as I walk away, I quickly went to Twitter. Like, we didn't lose a quarterback, did we? No, we did not.
Yeah. No, we did not. Slip in a shower? What happened?
No, we didn't. We did lose Travis Etienne. It's going to be fine. We've got hopefully a very good replacement. In Basil Tootin, at least as part of the front of that running back room. All right, back to some audio from yesterday. Dennis Gardeck coming on board. What do you make of that deal? 2 years, $12 million, I think it was. A little bit more maybe than I would have expected Gardeck to get.
Certainly, it's one of those where they were willing to make the 1-year deal with him really cheap last year. What was it, like $2 million, something like that?
Right. Coming off of injury.
Range. Right. And I think they got about what they expected out of him. I think it gives you some idea of maybe they're going to expand some of his opportunities. as a rusher this year? Because when they let him do it, he was as effective as they had.
Right.
You know,
like on a per snap basis.
Right. So maybe they're looking at it and saying, look, we can do a little bit more with Gardeck. He's completely healthy now. We know what we want his role to be in the defense. So is he a guy that's at least in the conversation as kind of that third guy? Right, from a pass rush perspective, maybe, and probably
at the moment, yes.
Yeah.
At the moment,
so
we'll hear him. We're gonna hear what he says about what his role will be as the defensive scheme continues to evolve. But we started with this one. Dennis Gardeck asked about Jacksonville bringing the fun back to the game for him, and did that help him decide to come back and be a Jaguar?
A bittersweet ending to the season, but still kind of left with like I feel renewed as a professional football player. I'm excited to come to work. I'm excited about the future, and I think what excited me the most was the growth and development piece. Being an older player, it kind of starts to look dark. Like am I improving anymore? But both Tim and Campy have done a great job of like, hey, there's still more meat on the bone, and that's exciting for me. I think that that's where a lot of it came from is, hey, I know I can give you guys more. There's more to learn. Granted, it's all probably from the neck up at this point, but there's still so much more to learn and grow in my game, and I know those guys are going to get it out of me, and I'm excited.
Yeah, it's every team needs at least one long-haired wild man as well. You know that particular motif in Dewey Wingard. Who knows, Tone? It looks like his time with the Jags may have come to an end.
Well, and the Gardeck thing, like he's one of those kind of back half of the roster glue guys, right? Like he's exactly, if you've imagined in your head when you were a kid that you could ever do anything in sports, I could be a Gardeck, right? Like it's that kind of level. It's that I can find a way to be there, right? And the game doesn't slow down for anyone, right? And then there may be physically you're going to be limited at some point, and the guy coming in after you, you're going to look at him and go, oh, I used to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's just the way that the game is going to go. So time's going to catch up with everybody. And it is always interesting when guys like Gardeck at least acknowledge that as they're at that point in their career where it's like, I can still give a team whatever I can give a team, and I'm willing to give it. Right? Like that's where he's at in his career. You know, we talk to Tommy Mack every Friday. He is that kind of guy. It's I got. You have what I have. Right? Like I'm not going to hold anything back. You know, from these kind of guys, and Gardeck is exactly that kind of guy. And by the way, when the front office talks about we want guys who love football, this is our Jaguars type guy, it is the guy like Gardeck even talking about it this way, right? Like that's the kind of thing they're looking for from a attitude perspective that they're trying to get, and they love it, right? And everything about Gardeck, that's the Wingard thing too. You only had to listen to him for 30 seconds.
Do guys love football?
Like, this guy loves it and just wants to be around it. Gardeck was also asked about, as we were discussing a moment ago, what does he feel like his role is going to be on this defense going into 26?
Still just I feel like that second year is kind of, within a season, everybody says the big jump is from game 1 to game 2 because you're kind of settling into your identity and who you're going to be as a team, as a unit, offense and defense, special teams. So I feel like there's going to be another big leap just between year 1 and year 2, just kind of having an identity set and going from there. I think those things are kind of always fluid, seeing as pieces kind of come in as the year goes on. So I don't think there's anything that anyone is tied to at this point. And it'll be good to be back with the guys, and that will kind of start to dictate and shape roles.
Yeah, very non-committal here, right? He gave you nothing in terms of what his actual role will be. I would presume they would like it to remain about what it was last year, maybe a few more snaps, but I don't think, he's not Devin Lloyd's replacement. That's not the way I look at it. Like, I think that is a massive hole right now for the Jacksonville Jaguars, depending on whether or not you think Ventrell Miller can fill that spot, and I don't know if we have enough evidence of that one way or the other.
Yeah, he's the third linebacker, the strong side linebacker when they go to those kind of looks, which that's not necessarily their base, right?
No.
Is with that guy on the field. So he is a sub-package guy. I don't know how much bigger the role is going to be when you are in that kind of a role, but they know what he can do, and I think if they want to give him a few more opportunities, I wouldn't mind seeing it, given how effective he was doing it.
All right, we'll come back. A few thoughts from Quentin Morris, the third of the trio to agree to terms with the Jacksonville Jaguars, in addition to Buster Brown and Dennis Gardeck. Then we'll get to our Tuesday top fives, just as the dust settled after one day where Travis Etienne and Devin Lloyd both agree to terms on multi-year deals with NFC South teams. What do we see as the Jaguars' top five needs as of this morning, with more free agency and the draft obviously still to come? You're listening to Jaguars Today. Mike Dempsey and Tony Smith live at the Players. RJ Saunders back at World Headquarters on Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL. The 1010XL Sports Network delivers podcasts, video, and exclusive content across every platform. Jacksonville Sports reimagined at 1010XL.
The Players, one of the biggest events on the PGA Tour, is right here in our backyard. How much do you know about the tournament? Rory McIlroy roared past J.J. Spaun in a playoff that pushed into Monday morning. McIlroy defeating Spaun in a 3-hole aggregate playoff, the 6th time the Players Championship went into extras, and the first since 2015. Sawgrass Asset Management, specializing in high-quality growth stock and fixed income portfolios for institutional and high-net-worth investors. A Jacksonville company proud to be involved in the community.
It doesn't matter if you're running drills at the park, playing pickup on a Saturday, or sinking the final putt. When you compete with your friends with Michelob Ultra on the line, competition isn't that friendly. The trash talk, next level, and the stakes, oh, those are crystal clear. With only 95 calories and superior smooth taste, it's the ultimate trophy. Superior is worth playing for. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025, Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Get hit by the man in the back, Tommy Mack.
I'm bringing you straight to the gridiron to show you what it's like to put on the Jags helmet and pads.
Fridays on Jaguars Today. Unlocked by Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors on 1010XL.
Hey, this is Lauren Brooks, and if you think Closets by Design is just closets, you've got to see their brand new showroom at Phillips & Emerson. It's amazing what they can do. See for yourself how they custom design organization for any space. Garages, laundry rooms, bedrooms, even the man cave. It's all about smart storage that fits your lifestyle and budget. Schedule an appointment to meet with a design consultant and tour the showroom for ideas you can see and touch. Start at closetsbydesign.com.
Hello, this is Father Nicholas Lowe, and I want to talk to you about not looking at the rearview mirror of unforgiveness. It's so easy to keep looking in the past when someone has hurt or offended us. What we don't realize that if we keep looking at the rearview mirror of anger, it will cause us to miss out on the good things that God has in store right in front of us. Friends, looking in the rearview mirror of the past will never give you peace in the present.
For more inspiration, log on to stjohnthedivine.com.
Royal Pest Services, a local company you can trust. Royal Pest is a certified installer of tap insulation, which stands for thermal, acoustic, and pest control. Reduce that electric bill by adding pest protection. It's that easy. Online at royalpestservices.com.
The Florida Forum welcomes world-renowned chef and humanitarian Jose Andres at the Center for Performing Arts March 31st. His impact spans the globe as founder of World Central Kitchen, Presidential Medal of Freedom recipient, and global leader using food as a force for change. All proceeds for the Florida Forum benefit the Women's Board of Wilson Children's Hospital, supporting a new outdoor play area for behavioral health services. Get your tickets now at thefloridaforum.com.
Most people think we only know sports around here, but they're wrong. Frank Frangie here. I also know who to turn to when I need a floral arrangement, and that's Kuhn Flowers. When you need to send that someone something special, rely on Kuhn Flowers, online at kuhnflowers.com.
If you're listening to 1010 and you're a parent, chances are your kids are playing sports. Check out i9sports.com with spring and summer registration open right now. In the gym or on the field, and now at Tocoi Creek High School and Westside Middle. Check it out, i9sports.com.
Blue here for the Blue Crab House, located right off of San Jose. It's on Jewington Creek Road. They've been around since 1996. Indoor-outdoor dining. Also, takeout is available at the Blue Crab House. Open 4:30 to 9, Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday, noon until 9. Remember, Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oyster night. How about the blue crabs? How about my personal favorite, the Canadian snow crabs? Whatever it is that you fancy, you get it right there. The Blue Crab House.
The new Ackerman Cancer Center is now open at World Golf Village, providing state-of-the-art screenings and diagnostic exams with no referral required. Same-day appointments are available. Call today or visit AckermanCancerCenter.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Jaguars today on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Or on 1010XL, as some would say, Tony, but only a limited few and only in private conversation. All right, so we are live at the Players. Trucks on 10 is where we'll find ourselves. My wife loves a good food truck. She is convinced, she hadn't expressed this, but I know her. She is convinced all food tastes better coming out of the side of a truck than it would in any other circumstance. So she gets very excited when she sees little conclaves of food trucks around. And we've got one right out here just behind us. So as you come out, if you're coming in the Davis Love entrance, which is right by 10.
Yep.
If you come in that way, just hang a left and walk about not even maybe halfway up the 10th hole and look off into the trees in the right. And you'll see the trucks on 10 gathering, and you'll see a big white tent where we're broadcasting from. And again, stop by, say hello, wait till the commercial break to do it, but we appreciate everybody. Always good to see folks on the grounds out here on Players Week, and hopefully RJ Saunders will grace us with his presence at some point later in the week if things work out. All right, so Travis Etienne agrees to terms with the Saints, and Devin Lloyd with the Panthers. So you suspected you'd lose those guys. Maybe a surprise at the size of the contract. Maybe a little bit bigger for Etienne. I'm not sure if I knew what he would get. But I thought that was a pretty good deal for him. What did he get? 52 over 4
years for 52.
So 13 on average.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have wanted to make a 4-year commitment with that. We talked about it a lot. Transition tag, 1 year, $11.4 million. Had they signed
that was the sweet spot to me with him.
Here's the thing. Had they used the transition tag on him, that doesn't keep New Orleans from signing him to this deal, which is already bigger, on average annual value than the transition tag would have been. At which point I think the Jags would have looked and said, we're not going to match that. We're not going to pay him 4 years, 52. So
if you thought the market was going to be that, then you're better off just letting him go.
If you thought the market was going to be like 10, then maybe you say, all right, 1 year, 11.3, we'll take him there. It's not the multi-year commitment, because once you use the transition tag, you do have the right of first refusal, but you don't get any compensation. I don't think then if you tag a guy a transition tag and you don't match him, if they count for your compensatory formula.
I don't believe they do.
So you wouldn't have got, as people were saying, we're going to get a compensatory pick. You might get a couple. I don't know. Devin Lloyd didn't get that $20 million a year contract. Right now, is that going to draw a third rounder next year? Maybe, maybe not.
Probably not.
So maybe a fourth and a fifth with those two contracts, something like that. But those are extra draft picks.
Yeah, I don't even know where the people get the ideas for these numbers when they're happening, but I could see people writing where they think the compensatory pick was going to be for guys that were getting signed.
Yeah.
Yesterday, and I believe when I saw the Etienne deal, they said a fifth.
They said a fifth, right?
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if that's gospel or that is just based on.
I have no idea. Heck, they didn't even announce the compensatory picks until yesterday.
For this year.
Right, like officially.
Right.
We had some idea of what they were going to be, and now we know, like, the pick that they're getting from Detroit is going to be 100. Like, we know that's where they're locked in.
We suspected it would be 100, but it wasn't official until yesterday. All right, just a few thoughts here from Quentin Morris, and we'll turn the page then on the trio of players that the Jags were able to agree to terms with and bring back. Morris talked about his growth last season under Coach Liam Cohen.
I mean, a lot. Like, just even going through training camp, obviously, coming off last year, it was kind of a hard year, and I had talked to Liam about that, just coming off some injuries and going into a first year of free agency, being on a new team, learning a whole new offense, and just being under a whole new staff. it was just a lot, and he helped make that process smooth. And even though there was like ups and downs, like it still was smooth, and like there was just a lot to learn from. And I really felt like he just did a lot, and as far as just like unlocking another part of me, and really just like players on the team, like he just brings that dog out of everybody.
Johnny Mutt let go yesterday by the Jags, frees up a little bit of cap space, and they can make some more of that level move if they want. I think Quentin Morris, Tony, if he never catches more than 20 balls in a season, can still have a significant impact for the role they envision for him here.
Yeah, no doubt. Quentin Morris was also asked about what he sees as the culture that Liam and Gladstone are trying to build down here in Jacksonville.
It's going to be something special. Like, again, these are all just a bunch of pieces that are coming together, and I think what they're doing is going to be really special. I think, also the talent, and not only the talent, just the people that they're bringing in. Again, Buster, Jacoby, like guys that obviously Jacoby coming in, and like I felt like he was really that spark, and he really pushed like the whole team and stuff. And we got over that hump, and then Buster's been making plays day in and day out, and I knew it was only a matter of time. So it's nice to see, all these pieces coming back and stuff, getting extensions or whatever that may be, and ready to see Duval in the championship.
We all are ready to see Duval in the championship. So one more from Quentin Morris on a similar kind of front. What had made him end up feeling so strongly about the connection here in Jacksonville?
I think I knew, like, kind of at some point in the middle of the season, like, hey, like, I know I only got 1 year, but like, this is definitely where I want to be. And just, I think, Liam and the staff that he's built definitely played a big part in that. And just seeing, like, what they're building here. And I was just like, it was kind of just a no-brainer. Even talking to my agent, I'm like, Jacksonville is where I want to be. I think it's the best fit. And I think, what's being built here is special.
All right, well, we hope that these three guys are going to be a part of it. Look, they're other than Buster Brown should be a 17-game starter if he's healthy for this team. Gardeck may start a few games depending on the formation that they start in, but he and Morris should be, the next man up kind of line of guys coming in to provide something off the bench. Gardeck, by the way, going to continue to give you something on special teams as well.
Gardeck would start about as much as Morris does. When they go to 3 linebacker sets, they go to 2 tight end sets to start a game. Morris may technically get a start,
right?
Yeah.
But they're not going to, I don't think, Gardeck's role could increase some because he'll be a year additionally removed from injury, but I don't think it's going to be this, massive head-turning amount of playing time that Dennis Gardeck gets. But you need those kind of guys in the middle to the back end of your roster to hold it all together. They wanted to raise the floor. I think they've done that. Now is the ceiling coming down a little bit with Devin Lloyd and Travis Etienne on the way out. Let's take a look at our first glance at the Tuesday top 5 when we return. How do we see the top 5 needs currently for the Jags after day 1 of the free agency negotiating period in 2026 opening up? Hour 2 on the way, live at the Players. You're listening to Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here for 5 Star Bath Solutions. It was just time. We wanted to get rid of our junky old bathtub, replace it with a brand new walk-in shower. So many companies to choose from, and we interviewed a bunch of them, and we opted to go in our home with 5 Star Bath Solutions. Local ownership. They do the project fast. Customer service gets 4.9 on average on Google reviews, and you get full lifetime warranties on products, labor, and materials. 5 Star Bath Solutions, they can be your solution. Get the 5-star experience. Go online to 5starbathsolutions.com.
Jaguars Today from the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios. Wonder what Jeff Prosser would be doing if he wasn't on 1010XL?
I am Robin of Locksley.
And why should the people listen to you?
Because, unlike some other Robin Hoods, I can speak with an English accent.
Jeff Prosser, mornings on 1010XL.
The Players' Championship returns to TPC Sawgrass March 10th through 15th. Experience golf's most iconic stage with enhanced food and beverage offerings, interactive fan attractions, and an atmosphere built for every type of fan. See the best players in the world, including world #1 Scotty Scheffler, 2025 champion Rory McIlroy, and fan favorite Brooks Koepka take on the legendary Stadium Course and the famous Island Green. Tickets available at theplayers.com.
Attention men and women. If you would like to get your hair back, then you need to listen to some of our clients. John in Orange Park.
IHRS showed me what was causing my hair loss and helped stop it.
Call IHRS now at 904-777-IHRS. Find out how to grow your hair back with a free hair and scalp examination. Mike from Bay Meadows.
I finally found the most experienced company who could restore my hair. Now I have hair where I had none before.
Results guaranteed. Diane from Ponte Vedra.
Now I have what lotions couldn't give me. Thick, beautiful hair.
Find out why you're losing your hair and how to grow your hair back. Call 904-777-IHRS for a limited time free hair and scalp examination.
Now my hair will grow for the rest of my life. Thanks, IHRS.
Thank you, IHRS.
Thanks, IHRS, for giving me my hair back.
Hurry and receive a free hair and scalp examination and get 2 weeks of laser treatments for free. Call IHRS at 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477. Hairforme.com.
Lauren Brooks here, and if you're getting a tax refund this year, here's a great way to use it. Invest in new tires from Big Chief Tires. I've trusted the Parman family for years because they always take care of my car like it's their own. New tires make your ride safer and more reliable, and that's worth every penny. Schedule the best service in town at WeKeepJacksRollin.com or call 904-932-0950 and put your refund to work.
Gold and silver prices are near all-time highs. If you have old jewelry just laying around, Estates Roadshow wants to buy it. Gold and silver, old rings, chains, even broken jewelry. Don't wait. Cash in while gold and silver are hot. The Estates Roadshow is coming back to the First Coast March 16th through the 20th in St. Augustine at World Golf Renaissance and in Palm Coast at the Holiday Inn Express. For more info, visit estatesroadshow.com or follow Estates Roadshow on Facebook to see all upcoming local events and locations.
WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Hey Jacksonville, this is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, proud partner and orthopedic specialist of Jacksonville. We're honored that the Jacksonville Icemen rely on our team for their sports medicine and orthopedic care. We built this practice with one mission, to raise the bar for orthopedic care right here in our hometown. Faster access, smarter treatment plans, and better results. Whether you're recovering from a sports injury or managing joint pain, we're here to help you get back in the game, stronger and pain-free. Visit osjax.com to learn more. That's osjax.com.
If your lawn took a beating this winter, listen up. Prosser here for Julington Creek Pest Control. They've just started the first of 3 rounds of premium granular fertilizer. No cheap liquid fertilizer here. Custom blended for Northeast Florida lawns. Their certified technicians apply slow-release nutrients. Rebuild your lawn thick, strong, and green over time. Plus, they protect your home from pests and termites. Call Julington Creek Pest Control today. Our family serving yours since 1984.
Here's your 1010XL local sports update, sponsored by Vanguard Sports League. Big move out of Duval. Linebacker Devin Lloyd is Carolina bound. The former Jaguars star is set to sign a 3-year, $45 million deal. Jacksonville loses an all-pro playmaker to free agency. The Dolphins drop Tua and dive right into the Malik Willis era. 3 years, $67.5 million. And that's your 1010XL local sports update. I'm Sam Nelson.
Right now, 77 degrees at 11:02. Time and 10 brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Everything you need to know about the Jags. Jaguars today on 1010XL.
Yeah, I don't think the Tuesday top 5 will be shocking today. It's pretty easy for me to come up with 5 areas that are seen as the biggest needs for this football team. We'll get to that momentarily. Tony, somebody hit me up yesterday on the socials after Etienne agreed to terms with the Saints. Hey, isn't New Orleans that team that's always in cap hell? Yes, they are. Until they're not, right? And they were just a couple of weeks ago. They were one of the worst cap situations in the league. And I assume that because they were able to do that so rapidly, they had more contracts that are eligible for restructurings, different things like that. Like they restructured Alvin Kamara within the last week and saved a bunch of cap space. And now that they signed Etienne, they're talking about, well, do they even keep him around?
Right.
And I did look. I think if they designate him as a post-June 1st cut, they could push that cap hit until next year. But I can't imagine a 31-year-old Alvin Kamara is going to have a whole lot to do behind a guy you just spent $52 million on.
No, probably not. And we saw, Kamara's role was kind of weird the last couple of years.
They didn't throw him the ball last year. Now, that was Kellen Moore coming in, so different offense and all that. But that was where he always made his
why
biggest
he was
impact.
Kamara.
Yeah, he was a fantastic guy that you get on the edge, and then you get him singled up one-on-one and throw the ball to him, and the offense didn't call for him to do that nearly as much.
Yeah, he's not a guy that you need to get 15 carries. He's the guy that you need to get 15 or 20 touches, right? Like, that's the kind of player that he was, but that's not how they were using him the last couple of years for whatever reason.
Yeah, we'll see. I wish Etienne the best. I mean, couldn't have gone to a better, just out of the conference, hopefully we'll see you or the Panthers in the Super Bowl when we match up with you or Devin Lloyd. So let's get to today's countdown and begin.
Number 5.
All right, I'll start it off, or does anybody else want to start it off? Anybody? Are you good? You good with me starting it?
Yeah.
All right, I was about to go Frank Frangie cadence right there.
Can a guy start?
Can a guy start it? Top 5 list right there. Hope you're listening, Frank. That's right. One day after giving plaudits for a hole-in-one, this is what we're reduced to. All right, I'm going to go safety at number 5 for me, Tone. Now, do I think they could? I think, as with a lot of positions, they could play today with what they have, but I don't know about Caleb Bransall, man. I mean, I hope he's going to be perfectly fine, and it's going to be, missing his rookie season. Don't forget, Travis Etienne did the same thing, got hurt, didn't make any impact at all for the Jacksonville Jaguars, and went on, and now we're talking about, man, it's kind of sad to lose Etienne. So hopefully Caleb Bransall has that kind of impact over the life of his rookie deal, but I don't know that. Eric Murray, I think, played above my personal expectations. Antonio Johnson played above a lot of people's expectations. Now, I'm hoping that's sustainable, but Dewey's not going to be around. It looks like anyway. We don't know about Ransall. I just think that there's an opportunity for another safety to come in here and kind of, even if they're not a starter, solidify that group. Give me a little bit more comfort in the depth, especially not knowing what the health status is of Ransall at this point.
Yeah, and 2 of the 3 guys basically they have on the depth chart are kind of short-term answers right now. And the 3rd guy may be here for a couple more years on a rookie deal, but we don't know what he is. Right, as a player. So safety makes a lot of sense.
Okay, so that's why I got a 5. What do you have at 5?
I have tight end at 5, and I don't even love putting this position on these kind of lists ever, just given the way that I typically think about tight end. It's just not all that important to me. Never really has been, but given that it's a one-man party basically on the roster at this point, there's not a whole lot behind what Brenton Strange can do. I'm not all that concerned about if Strange is out for any time, they have to put somebody else on the field. When they go to somebody else on the field, I'm just like, then the tight end's not getting the ball. Right, is kind of the way that I feel about it. But it is right now, it's a one-man room. So if they want to do something about it, it makes sense, but it's why it's all the way at the bottom of my list.
Yeah.
Like, I was considering a couple positions, including safety, when I was going through and putting this together, but I don't know. I don't even know how I would decide that tight end edges safety in my head. Like, they're very even to me, in regard to, and it's a couple of positions too that I kind of consider the last ones that you bring in. I think they are safety and tight end. Like, I really do look at those 2 positions that way. So even if I put them on the list, it's a reflection of where they're at on the roster with the position right now and my personal preference on how important I think it is that they get anybody at the position. And I like the other 4 positions for how important I think they might be for the football team, but the 5th one was wide open in my head. I was thinking about wide receiver at 5.
Okay.
Is how convoluted it got to at this point on the list.
I definitely like their options at wide receiver more than tight end. Now, in the passing game, again, beyond Brenton Strange, they're not going to throw the ball to the tight end much at all.
No.
So the kind of tight end they're looking for is the Quentin Morris type, or at least that's what it's been.
And that was kind of the back half of the wide receiver. Like, if I put wide receiver on there, it's the back half of that group is non-existent. Right, like right now on the roster, but that's the Brenton Strange thing. I know who the starters are.
Right.
It's kind of the same thing. I almost put it on there because of the importance of wide receiver in my head compared to the importance of tight end.
Yeah, and I look at wide receiver, I mean, in my head right now, you got your top 4 guys. You're not starting 4 usually, right? So you've got 4 good options. They can bring back a Tim Patrick. If they don't bring back Tim Patrick, you can find another Tim Patrick type which they're able to do relatively inexpensively. RJ, what do you have at 5?
Number 5 for me, I too have safety. My 5 and my 4 are depth pieces. At this point, I think there's going to be questions as to what you're going to do with Andrew Wingard. Are you bringing him back, or are you letting him walk? I do like Antonio Johnson and Eric Murray as your starters. We just don't know as of yet, as you guys have talked about, what Caleb Bransall is going to be as a player. So I think they need to bring in some depth pieces, whether you do that in a free agency period or whether you wait until the draft to address that. We trust Gladstone and that front office there down the way here in Jacksonville. But for my number 5, I'm saying safety.
All right, let's continue the countdown.
Number 4.
Tony?
Number 4 for me, this is where I have running back. And as we discussed early on in the show, I like the idea of Tootin being the guy, right, in the backfield. The question at running back is, do they find anyone that can fill the Tootin role from last year, where Tootin was kind of the other guy that could potentially push Etienne, right, like at some point? And I do think the draft is my preferred method for finding this. At this point, is to bring in another guy in basically the same level of the draft that you got Tootin, right? And bringing him in and saying, look, best man's going to win the job. We're kind of leaning towards Tootin to start the competition. But can Tootin keep the door closed? Can he hold the door as effectively as Etienne did last year? I like the idea of Tootin being the featured back in as much as they feature a back, right, in this offense. But I don't see anything on the roster that threatens at all what Tootin gave him as the number 2 guy, right, in that last year. So, and the opportunities are right there in front of you. Everyone drafts a running back virtually every year. I would expect we're going to get into a cycle here where that's what the Jaguars do, is they draft a running back to fill out the depth chart basically every year, as opposed to getting it done in free agency, and that'll continue for the second year in a row here in 26.
RJ, what do you have at 4?
Number 4 for me is a third edge. Basically like an edge rusher. It seems to me that a lot of times when we're doing these mock drafts on Mondays, it feels that we are looking for not only a defensive tackle, but a guy who can fill in at third edge. Now, they might say in the building, BJ Green and Danny Strigow, we think one of those 2 guys is good enough to be the third edge, but we don't know that yet. They haven't said anything publicly. And every time we do these mock drafts, it seems that within the first 4 picks, we're saying that we would go edge rusher. Do they do that in the draft? Do they do that in free agency? Are they thinking about that at all? I don't know, but that's why we play the game. We love doing the exercises on Monday. But for me, my number 4 would be edge rusher, particularly who's going to be the third edge rusher behind Josh Hines, Allen, and Trayvon.
All right, I went with Tony on number 4 with running back here, and I just I think Tootin will be the starter. I don't know that 100%. And beyond him, I don't really have a whole lot of confidence in the running game beyond that. Look, Quinn Allen has some great aspects to his game. Great pass protector, very aggressive. I didn't see anything particularly special out of him as a runner last year. I saw a glimpse of Tootin here and there. He was making plays in the offseason as well in camp that have me excited to see what he could do on a more regular basis. And I'm with you. You can draft one in the 3rd round if the right guy's there, but I'm fine with a 4th or 5th round running back coming in, adding to the group that they have right now if they had nothing else at the position. Now, they still may go out there and sign a Rachaad White or something along those lines as a complimentary piece to Tootin. But as it stands today, Tony and I both have a running back as the 4th biggest need for the Jacksonville Jaguars. All right, we'll pause the countdown. When we come back, the Hammer, Hayes Carline, is going to join us to give us his impressions of day 1 of the ability of teams to go out there and agree to contracts with various NFL free agents. And then we'll wrap up our Tuesday Top 5 after that. This is Jaguars Today, live at the Players on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today from the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL. It's like a drive-through for sports talk.
Yeah, I'd like to place an order.
What you like?
XL Primetime serves it fresh every lunch hour.
Yes, I think that's about it.
And then?
Noon to 2 weekdays on 1010XL.
And then?
Ahead, we build platforms for digital business. We help create your platform for digital business by weaving together advances in cloud infrastructure, intelligent operations, and modern applications. Digital business is comprised of 5 pillars. We call them imperatives because they're a must-have, not a nice-to-have. We enterprise cloud, integrated security, scaled DevOps, intelligent operations, and relentless automation. Need help with digital transformation? Ahead. Learn, grow, achieve.
Money, pages,
Did you know there's local savings sitting in your mailbox right now? Money Pages is packed with real coupons from your favorite local businesses. Save money at restaurants like Al's Pizza, on pet care at Forever Vets, and on entertainment for the whole family at the Alhambra Theater. Plus, make sure to download the Money Pages app for savings on the go.
Pages in your mailbox right now.
He speaks softly and carries a suitcase full of stories.
The quarterback whisperer.
Get an inside look at football's greatest position with Denny Thompson. Friday mornings on The Drill. Tuned up by George Moore Chevrolet on 1010XL.
This is Frank Frangie. Over the past 11 years, the weight loss industry has seen it all. New medications, fad diets, sculpting. Yet Awaken 180 still stands alone as the proven solution for lasting weight loss. Results at awaken180weightloss.com.
The Golf Club of Southampton is gearing up for brand new greens and a lot more. And now's your chance to save on membership before the fee increase. Take advantage of $1,000 savings if you join before the work starts in late April and before the initiation fee goes up. It's a great deal, plus $500 additionally in Pro Shop credit. Don't miss out. All the details are at golfsouthampton.com. Become a member now and save big. The course is in great shape, so head on out to the Golf Club of Southampton. Call 287-PLAY and get on the tee.
New and pre-owned firearms are in stock at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach. Want a new sidearm or rifle? Brands like Kimber, Smith & Wesson, 6 Hour, Beretta. No lines, no hassle. Only at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach.
Ticket here for Action Garage Door. Nothing more frustrating than your garage door misfiring. When it does, I call Action Garage Door. They take action. Jeff and Art and crew, Jacksonville folks, not some big out-of-town chain. Something goes wrong with your garage door, take action. Check them out. Garage Door 911, garagedoor911.com.
Are high-interest credit cards and other loans sucking the life out of your finances? It's time to say no more. Let Loan Pronto tap the equity on your home and get the cash you need now so you can pay it all off. Hey, it's Prosser here. Corey and Jack called Loan Pronto in a matter of days. They had $160,000. They kept their 3% mortgage intact, didn't even need an appraisal, and with all that cash, they wiped out all their credit cards and 2 car loans, saving $2,000 a month. You can do it too. LoanPronto.com, the rapid equity loan program, can get you $100,000, $200,000, even $500,000 in cash. Chloe and Ethan just did it. Consolidated all their high-interest debt into one super low monthly payment, giving them an extra $1,000 a month. Imagine. Pay off all the credit cards, slash your monthly payments, breathe easier. Get your life back. Interest rates are at 3-year lows. Call Loan Pronto today, 904-999-1500. That's 904-999-1500. Or go to loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781. Visit NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Hey, Hicken here, and I want to tell you about Beach's Dermatology. And my doctor, Dr. Metz. I've been going to Dr. Metz for, I don't know how many years, decades. I got the scars to prove it. Listen, Jets, I love the beach. I love to play golf. I love Florida. I love to go to my kids' games in the hot sun all weekend long. Summer's basically here, and the sun will be shining. Don't forget your sunscreen. Trust me on this. You need to go get checked out today. It's more important than you think. Give Beach's Dermatology a call online at beachesdermatology.com.
When you head out for a night with friends or going to the big game, don't forget the best game plan to win the night is to designate a driver and guarantee a safe ride home. Hydrating between buds is the best play you can make. Bud Light, reminding all to drink wiser.
Firehouse Subs is adding a new heavy hitter to the roster, the Chicken and Cheddar Rancher. Grilled chicken, melted cheddar, crispy bacon stacked high with fresh toppings, creamy buttermilk ranch. The Chicken and Cheddar Rancher, only at Firehouse Subs.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Here's another call on the 1010XL hotline, driven by Key Buick GMC, home of the lifetime powertrain warranty.
You can't touch this. You can't touch this.
Jaguars today on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right. It's time to talk to the Hammer. Hayes Carline, free agency, I guess, is officially opened up. I don't know, Tony. I think it opens up since the year ends. Yeah. I mean, it's not like guys were negotiating these deals within the couple of minutes after noon yesterday. Obviously, you moved the tampering window back further, and they just start tampering earlier, and that's kind of the way it goes. But Hayes joins us now, fresh off signing his own 3-year, $52 million contract to stay on the Frangie Show for the foreseeable future. Hayes, congratulations on getting that big contract done, and how are you this morning?
I'm doing great, and reminder about the party on the yacht this weekend. I hope you both will be there.
Oh, yes. First I'm hearing of it, and I'm sure that there's a reason for that. No, in all seriousness, Hayes, I don't think anybody's shocked.
Well, yeah, I just made $53 million, apparently.
Well, that's true. Yeah, and so there you go. You just found out about it, too, apparently.
Just playing off of you here.
I hear you, brother. I hear you. I figured I'd be the last one to know about it regardless. So anyway, Devin Lloyd, Travis Etienne, they agreed to terms with other teams. That's not surprising. I think what caught some people by surprise was that Devin Lloyd only got an average of $15 million a year, and they thought the Jags could have been players at that number. What did you make of the contract he reportedly agreed to with the Panthers?
Yeah, it was a little lower than expectations, certainly, but I still don't think it was at a level where the Jaguars should have committed the money to him. So I think they made the right call to let Devin Lloyd, go ahead and move on with his career. So I think the Jaguars are in good shape. I mean, sometimes patience is, a virtue, and I think they'll be rewarded for, how they've played it so far. Getting Monteric Brown back was big. Getting Dennis Gardeck back was big, but, we knew that it was going to be a quiet first wave for them in all likelihood. And, and that's where it's landed. So, I think they're more locked in on the comp pick formula and making sure that they beef up that 2027 draft haul. So, could they do something of significance? Certainly you can't rule it out, particularly with as aggressive as Gladstone has shown he can be in 1 year. But I think it's sort of what I expected. I expected quiet, but I don't think quiet is bad. I mean, we're just not used to the Jaguars operating from a position of strength because, their roster is pretty enviable to most of the other clubs out there.
We heard over the weekend that the Jaguars were at least in on the Max Crosby deal, right, before he actually got traded from Vegas over to Baltimore. Do you think there is anything like that could be in the works here over the course of the next few weeks?
I think it's a low probability, but I wouldn't discount it. I mean, we saw the rumor about the Eagles possibly looking to move Jalen Carter. I mean, if the Jaguars could get a player like that, how do you not, move mountains to try and he's exactly what they would need. I don't think there's a lot of credibility to it. I think ultimately he stays with Philadelphia because I just think he's too good to move and too rare of a player. But, but I mean, if it's something like that, Hendrickson still hasn't signed, which is a little bit of a surprise. So if that number gets more reasonable, could they look at trying to do something there? But, I think for the most part, barring a surprise, I think this is the team. I think they want to see what the draft class brings them. Obviously, they have 11 picks. It's going to be awfully hard for 11 rookies to make this 53. So, right. I almost think it's like get through the draft, see what the draft brings you, and then attack free agency at that point if you feel the need to still fill in some gaps. And the Monday after the draft is when the comp pick formula expires. So, they can be protective of those comp picks. Because, I mean, honestly, Newsome signing today for a 1-year, $10 million deal is going to give them a comp pick. So you're looking at Lloyd, Etienne, and now Newsome. And so, I mean, if the Jaguars don't do much in terms of signing other players free agents, I mean, they could be looking at being awarded 3 comp picks. I would expect that, in 27. So if they can just be, patient for another, 5 weeks or so, there will be talent this summer that's available. So, I think, again, I think their best move is probably just unless they can get a superstar player. But barring that, I think you just wait it out. And again, we're just not used to this, but this is what good organizations do. And I think that the Jaguars are on the right path to that.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know if this was their intent at the time, but you get a guy like Greg Newsome. There have been good teams that have targeted trading for players in the last year of their contracts like that, knowing that they're going to hit free agency and not re-sign them. And sometimes you end up getting as good a return in the compensatory pick as you gave up to get him. And it's almost like you acquired his services for nothing,
Yeah,
other than
Baltimore's the king of that.
yeah, Baltimore is really good at that, Hayes. So we'll see how that all shakes out. So maybe if they do make a splash move, might be more inclined to be via the trade because that will not impact that compensatory formula. But Hayes, for the short term, how do you see them addressing the running back room? Some people have suggested, Rashad White's got a history with Liam Cohen. Do you think they're going to go the veteran route, or do you think at this point they'll just wait and see what is available to them in the draft, and if necessary, circle back to a veteran free agent pickup if they don't get the guy that they're looking for on draft day?
I would think it's more of a veteran this summer. So again, get beyond the draft. They certainly could draft one, but I would imagine with what they'll be looking for is more experience with Tootin and Allen going into their second year. So again, it's a pretty deep class. I think a lot of these guys are still going to be available when you get beyond the draft. So I would think it's a 1 year, $2 million deal, something like that, where a veteran comes in and the expectation is that, you're the number two guy behind Tootin in terms of the, first and second down role. We know LaQuinn Allen will be the third down back. And so, I would think it'll be, that kind of a role. I don't think you'll see them devote, big time money to it.
What do you expect the next extension that the Jaguars get done to be with who?
I would think it would be Brenton Strange on probably like August 19th, something like that. Get through training camp, the majority of your preseason, and as you get a little closer to the regular season, they get that break, right in there. So I would think you'll see a deal with Brenton Strange done probably a little bit before week one would be my guess. And I think Parker Washington will be right behind him. In fact, because of the kismet of both of them playing at Penn State and how close they are, I wouldn't be surprised if the deal got done on the same day. Not like they have to do what's best for them individually, right, but I would not be surprised if it basically gets announced on the same day, because we know how close Brenton and Parker are. And, I think that they're a big part of their future moving forward. So I think it gets done with both of them before week one, but probably, in that late August, maybe early September range.
What about Anton Harrison? How much importance do you put on finding a way forward with him after this year?
Yeah, very important. I think that, what he does athletically is just hard to find. We had Liam Cohen, at multiple points in the season point out instances where, Anton did something, pretty spectacular athletically. So I would think he's a priority. Obviously, you have a little bit more of a runway with him being a first round pick. You have the 5th-year option, so maybe not as urgent as it would be with Brenton and Parker. But yeah, I think Anton Harrison is absolutely a part of the plan and moving forward long term. And that's why they've got to be kind of careful now, because, they do have some lucrative extensions coming. That 2023 draft class, to your point, looks like, you're gonna reach a second contract, ideally with, Strange, Washington, Harrison. We'll see about, Antonio Johnson as well. Obviously, he played very well, towards the end of last season. So, you need to start, kind of clearing the coffers. Obviously, they've got a lot of dead money this year. They won't have that next year. So that's probably a chunk of what they're devoting that to is, okay, we got a ton of dead money this year, so we had to clean up, some of the mistakes that Balky made. But, but Balky also had some good picks. And now you got to work to second contracts with those guys. You obviously already paying the quarterback huge money. So, I would imagine that the focus now, I would think, is find, cheap contributors in the draft and then lock down your own guys. So I don't think, barring the chance to get a really rare player through a trade, I would imagine that, the plan is to sort of just hold tight for now, clear the dead money. If you go into free agency, do it after the draft and spend very little money. And, once you get this dead money off your books after this season, then that money will be used to lock down, the nucleus of your team.
Given the makeup of the roster as it is right now, Hayes, they lose Etienne, they lose Lloyd, it looks like yesterday in free agency. That's not unexpected, but which of those positions needing to be filled makes you more nervous, or do you think it's more difficult for them to get the same kind of impact they got from what they're losing at both of those spots going into 26?
I'm not really nervous about either one of them. I think Bashal Tootin is going to rise to the occasion. So I think he's going to give them Etienne level production. I love LaQuinn Allen's game. I think he'll get a little bit of an expanded role. And so I think they're in good shape. They'll add a veteran for experience and somebody that can, handle the ball 4 to 6 times a game, something like that. But I would want to see what these two, second-year players can do in bigger roles. And Devin Lloyd, I mean, they'll address that pretty early in the draft. I would imagine one of the 3 third-round picks will be somebody, with the expectation of filling the Lloyd role. And so they have Ventrell Miller and Kaiser. They have some in-house options, but my guess would be that, that will be something that, with those 4 picks they have on Friday, I don't think it'll be the second rounder unless there's a player there that they just can't believe is there. Right. But I would imagine one of those 3 third rounders will be for Devin Lloyd.
All right. Well, we shall find out if the Jags get any more active than they've been, which is basically not at all, at least outside the house in the first day of free agency and not totally unexpected. Hayes Carline and Frank Franchi be holding court out here this afternoon at 4 o'clock at the Trucks on 10 area. Hayes, it's a great day for weather. It's going to be a little warm this afternoon, man, but you know how much we love being out here at the Players, so enjoy your time this week. And as always, thanks for hopping on with us.
Thank you, gentlemen. Always enjoy it.
All right, buddy. There he goes. Hayes, the Hammer Carline, embedded reporter with your Jacksonville Jaguars. All right, we'll come back, Tony, and go through 3, 2, 1 in the countdown on the Tuesday Top 5. The current, up to the moment, biggest needs for this Jacksonville Jaguars roster. This is Jaguars Today, live at the Players on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today for the Renewal by Andersen Custom Windows and Doors Studios, bringing sports talk to the First Coast. This is 1010XL, Jacksonville Sports Radio.
Coach Campo here, and I just want to tell you about the best pizza I've had right here in Duval, and that's Tony D's Pizza. Tony works hard to make every slice perfect. If you love pizza like I do, you need to go to Tony D's, Bay Meadows and 295.
Hey everybody, Mike Dempsey here for big #1 Duval Ford. Truck Time is rolling in Jacksonville all month long. You can drive home a brand new 2025 F-150 with 0 money down, no payments for 90 days, and 0% interest for 60 months. That's right, a new F-150 with 0 down, 0% for 60 months. That's 5 years of interest-free. See all the deals now at DuvalFord.com or stop by big #1 Duval Ford on 1616 Cassett Avenue today and take advantage of Truck Time at Duval Ford.
Attention skilled electricians. Are you undervalued at your current company? Time to step up to the bigger projects and better opportunities. Join the team at Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering not just the job, but an experienced, top-notch pay, unbeatable benefits, and the best working environments in the business. Please join the team that values your skills and rewards your hard work. Elevate your career to new heights. Apply today at millercareers.com, an equal opportunity employer.
This is Jeff Middlecoff with Cogent Bank. My associate Ryan Salem and I joined Cogent Bank because we wanted to revolutionize the mortgage business, just like Cogent Bank has revolutionized the banking business. So Ryan Salem and I are able to leverage the power and stability of Cogent Bank to go out and find our clients the best investors, the best products, and the best rates in the entire country for your particular mortgage loan. Of course, you don't have to be a customer at Cogent Bank to take advantage of our mortgage services to buy or refinance your home. We offer jumbo loans, VA, FHA, conventional, and investment loans. At Cogent Bank, we offer mortgages nationwide, so we can help you with a second home or help a family member who lives or is moving to another state. Call Ryan Salem or myself, Jeff Middlecoff, at Cogent Bank today, 904-442-9191, to see how we can help you with any of your mortgage loan needs, whatever or wherever they may be.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, Cogent Bank, NMLS ID 402296, Ryan Salem, NMLS ID 1182429, Jeff Middlecoff, NMLS ID 249086.
Make Capital Glass and Shower Doors your premier choice for top-quality glass solutions. With over 40 years of expertise, their team specializes in commercial and residential projects. From elegant shower doors to modern frameless enclosures, they've got you covered. But that's not all. They also offer glass railing systems, glass wine cabinets, and much more. For unmatched quality and service, choose Capital Glass and Shower Doors. Your vision, their expertise. Visit online at capcoglass.com.
Mike Dempsey, if you're thinking about a bathroom upgrade, maybe turning that old tub into a safer walk-in shower, check out 5 Star Bath Solutions. I shopped around, talked to several companies, and I chose 5 Star because their customer service was simply incredible. Responsive, honest, upfront about the entire project, and their pricing was even better than expected. When you're ready for a fresh look, better comfort, and a bathroom space you'll love using every day, schedule your free consultation at 5starbathsolutions.com and get the 5-star experience.
Spring is almost here. Is your yard ready? Lucas Tree Service, a family-owned business with over 45 years of experience, is your local certified arborist for tree removal, trimming, and stump grinding for residential or commercial properties. Protect your home, boost your curb appeal, and get top-notch service from a Jacksonville company. Make sure your trees are healthy and safe before summer hits. Schedule your tree inspection today at lucastreeservice.com.
Some auto shops love giving your wallet a flush every time you visit. Not AA Automotive. They fix only what needs fixing, nothing more. Honest, fast, and fair. That's AA Automotive on Richard Street. Boring name, awesome service, and no wallet flush.
Don't miss the music of ELO.
Don't bring me down.
The orchestra with former members of Electric Light Orchestra. Catch all the hits March 18th at Florida Theater. The orchestra. Get tickets now at floridatheater.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Now, the Monahan's golden moment. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach, your local family jewelers.
Well, there are a few golden moments, Tony. Devin Lloyd and Travis Etienne got the gold, as did some of the guys that stuck around here, Monteric, Buster Brown, Dennis Gardeck, and Quentin Morris. But I'll go with the golden moment today. It's this beautiful sun-dappled Players Championship Stadium course conditions. I don't know what I'm not that guy who's got the whole weather for the week figured out.
But thank goodness they moved it back to March a few years ago.
What's the forecast for the week looking like?
I haven't looked, but I know the beginning of spring is way easier if you're going to just be out here enjoying the golf course and the golf. It's a whole lot more pleasant when it's going to be mid-80s as opposed to, man, those summer trips when it was low 100s. Like I remember years where it was like the heat index out here was like in the 120s.
Well, today, like I asked Alexa this morning, she said high in Ponte Vedra is 79. The high listed for Jacksonville on my little weather bug is 88. So is it that much cooler out here at the beach? Maybe it is, right?
I don't know.
Tomorrow's high is 89. No rain. Thursday drops about 10 degrees, 74% chance of rain. Uh-oh. Oh, well, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
You know what? Toughen up, golfers.
It's an outdoor sport.
It is well, it is, unless you're now one of these teams that's playing on TV. I cannot believe I actually heard a national show debating if you make a hole-in-one in this little silly computer golf game, does it count? They were asking, because who made one for Tiger Woods' team a couple weeks ago? Of course it doesn't count.
No. If you hit one in the hole on a range, that's not a hole-in-one.
Correct.
Right.
Correct. That's not a hole-in-one either. That's more of a hole-in-one to me than doing it with any kind of video component. If that's the case, bro, I would say roughly 375 hole-in-ones in my career, okay? Between PGA Tour Golf 2 all the way through every permutation of Tiger Woods, we've all made our share of hole-in-ones in the virtual space. So anyway, I just thought that was kind of strange, but nevertheless, let us get back to our countdown today. Tuesday top 5 today after the Jags look like they're losing, and nothing's official until tomorrow, but there's no reason to think any of this is falling through. Devin Lloyd and Travis Etienne are gone. Jags bring back a few other guys. Who do you see what do you see as being the top needs for these Jacksonville Jaguars as of this moment? Let's continue the countdown, RJ.
Number 3.
All right, Mr. Saunders, give us number 3, if you would.
Number 3 for me is going to be that of the running back position. We know who's going to be the starter, or we presume that we know who's going to be the starter, and that being Bashal Tootin. But you can do for another quality guy who's going to be a backup number 2. And again, this is going to be something. Do they use one of their draft picks to answer that question, or do they go out and get a guy like Rashad White, or is there another individual that they have in mind there at that position, or is there somebody internally that they like that wasn't able to play on the team last season? We are going to see, but I think now with losing Etienne, you're going to have another guy that can either understand just the definition of north-south, or if you want to bring in a guy who also has pass catching abilities out of the backfield to help you in that way too, because you were very successful having a running back that had those qualities. So running back for me at my number 3 spot.
All right, number 3 for me, I went with edge here. And granted, I know who the starters are going to be. Edge to me is representative of the overall impact I want to get out of the pass rush. And Trayvon Walker needs to be better than 3.5 sacks. And I understand injuries and all that slowed guys down. Josh Hines-Allen needs to be better. He needs to be the guy. He needs to be a 15-sack guy. That's what he is being paid to be for this football team. They're good players, but I want to see more out of them, and we need depth beyond that, Tony. Gardeck can help a little bit, but it wasn't like Gardeck was causing defensive coordinators to stay up late at night, I don't think, last year. I think this team does need a third edge, whether that's developing some of the guys that RJ talked about earlier and BJ Green and Danny Strigo, fine, but they need more impact from the position at all. I'm more confident that Bashal Tootin can handle the front end of the load than Josh Hines-Allen and Trayvon Walker are going to get the help that they need based on the way the roster is set up right now.
Number 3 for me, I went with linebacker. I would list either middle or weak side linebacker specifically, but I do think Foyer's flexibility allows them, if they want to do one or the other and Foyer play the other one, I think they can do that with him a little bit. They can kind of mix and match with him based on whatever they feel like may be available. It's one of those where you look at the rest of the depth chart, Ventrell Miller, Jack Kaiser, Branson Combs, Jalen McLeod, and Yasir Abdullah. How much of the playmaking, I mentioned at the top of the show, how much of the playmaking you got from Devin Lloyd can even be replaced, right? Like on the roster this year, but trying to find the impact that you got from that guy, I think it's really hard to completely replace that. I think they're going to have to kind of mix and match, pick their poison a little bit on what direction they want to go with it.
All right, RJ?
Number 2.
All right, for me, I've got defensive tackle at number 2. It is kind of weird, right? Like, you have starters. Your run defense was number 1 in the league, or one of the best in the league for sure, but they need more push there as well. I don't know if they're going to get anything from Mason Smith. It certainly doesn't look like it. It's possible Eric Armstead creates an even bigger hole if they look at him as a cap casualty post-June 1st. As of right now, I don't think they're going to do that. They just need more impact out of the position as a whole, more push, which would in turn help the edges. The reason I had this listed higher than edge is because if you just look at the starters, I trust Josh Hines-Allen and Trayvon Walker a lot more than I do Devon Hamilton and Eric Armstead as a pair. So I got defensive tackle at 2.
Number 2 for me is edge. I think there's a fair chance that Danny Strigo or B.J. Green develop into a reasonable third option. But 1, it's very unlikely that both do. And 2, it's also unclear if that will be ready to happen for either of them in 2026. One or both of them achieving that is clearly a bet that needs to be hedged against, given that they're the options they have on the roster right now beyond Josh Hines-Allen and Trayvon Walker. That's the list, right? Is those 2 guys and whatever you think Gardeck's role is, being mixed into these things. So with that in mind and how important the position is, I put edge at number 2.
All right, RJ?
Number 2 for me is linebacker. I mean, you look at the room, it seems like they're going to put Ventrell Miller in the spot that Devin Lloyd was. We're not saying that he's going to be the playmaker that Devin was, but he, when you look at places like PFF, they had him graded rather high. They also talk about just, from his numbers, he was a quality linebacker. Now, I do believe that you're going to need more depth kind of in that room because there is question marks as to what do you have that's also in that room between Jack Kaiser, Jalen McLeod, Yasir Abdullah. You also have Branson Combs there as well. So you're going to need some answers there at the linebacker position if you want to be successful, in my opinion. So there is my number 2.
All right, and finally.
Number 1.
3 technique. Eric Armstead for one more season? Maybe, I say with a question mark on there. Mason Smith, Matt Dickerson, Trayvon Walker to some degree. The lack of talent at the position is what makes them even trying to acquire Max Crosby a little bit interesting. As I said when we talked about it on Monday, coming out of the weekend, I think Trayvon was likely the player that was being kind of put out there, involved in that trade. But if it was Brian Thomas Jr., then the only way they can get Max Crosby, Josh Hines-Allen, and Trayvon Walker on the field together is if Trayvon's playing inside. Right, like it's the only way they could do that kind of thing. So if they addressed edge at that kind of level, it would push Trayvon inside. So maybe you can kind of half look at him as a little bit of an answer as that 3 technique, but I don't think he's going to be played as the 3 technique in Jacksonville. So once you look past Armstead, there's nothing there on the roster. And I think it's the most difficult problem outside of quarterback maybe to answer in the entire league. It's 3 technique, but that doesn't make it any less of a need for the Jaguars.
RJ?
Defensive tackle. Yeah, you're definitely going to need push along the inside. I mean, there's question marks as to whether or not you move Trayvon Walker on the inside and try to find an edge rusher to give you help in that sense. Those are questions that are certainly going to have answers here within the next few weeks. But one thing that was apparent this season is that we don't have the guys that have the gravity along the inside to really help our edge guys get to the quarterback. So defensive tackle for me is my number 1.
All right, I put linebacker at number 1 and with a bullet, man. I mean, look, I don't know if you can get if you would have got the same season out of Devin Lloyd, but I do know this, 5 interceptions, 10 quarterback hits. He's one of 2 guys in the last 20 years to pull off that double feature. Second team All-Pro, Jaguars defensive MVP, could have been, a first team Pro Bowl linebacker with the season he had, was in consideration for Defensive Player of the Year. That leaves a massive hole. Boy, getting a little bit older, I think he's still got a little time left, but they've got to develop the next generation of linebacker here. Maybe Kaiser becomes one of those guys. I didn't see or hear much to give me that indication, and that doesn't mean he can't be that. I don't know about Ventrell. PFF did grade him well as a coverage linebacker. He had very limited reps in that category, and it wasn't like, once the season started, he wasn't pushing Devin Lloyd. You couldn't get Devin Lloyd off the field, and you felt his impact when he wasn't in there, and we'll see what they do to answer it on a more permanent basis. So I've got linebacker at number 1. Let's wrap it up on the other side. We'll welcome in XL Prime Time on this Tuesday. Check out a few of your top 5s as well. See if you put any outlier positions in that group. You're listening to Jaguars Today. Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, RJ Saunders. We're live at the Players on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today.
For the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios. 1010XL. Live streaming from the XL Digital Studios. Brightened by Harbor Dental Care. Jacksonville's first choice for dental emergencies.
Homeowners, ready to open your home to spring and shut out high energy bills? It's 31 days of spring savings with Renewal by Andersen. Right now, buy 2 windows or doors and get the third 60% off. Plus, 0 down, no payments, and no interest for 18 months. But this offer expires March 31st. Renewal by Andersen, proud partner of the Florida Gators. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation.
License number CGC 1527613.
Get ready for spring turkey season at Green Acres Sporting Goods. Find shotguns trusted in the field from Browning, Beretta, and Benelli. Plus, the newest bows are ready to test shoot from Hoyt and Matthews. For over 55 years, Green Acres Sporting Goods has helped Northeast Florida hunters gear up with confidence. Stop by Green Acres today at the corner of Normandy and Hammond Boulevard or shop online anytime at greenacresporting.com.
The Players' Championship returns to TPC Sawgrass March 10th through 15th. Experience golf's most iconic stage with enhanced food and beverage offerings, interactive fan attractions, and an atmosphere built for every type of fan. See the best players in the world, including world number 1 Scotty Scheffler, 2025 champion Rory McIlroy, and fan favorite Brooks Koepka take on the legendary Stadium Course and the famous Island Green. Tickets available at theplayers.com.
Hi, I'm Sean Monahan from Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach. Since 1977, we've been Jacksonville's local family jeweler with a beautiful selection of fine jewelry and certified diamonds. But we're also Jacksonville's leading buyer of gold, silver, and diamonds from the public. Gold has recently hit an all-time high at over $5,000 per ounce, and silver is over $100 per ounce. Pay bills, buy something fun. Now is the time to sell your gold and silver for cash and get top dollar, or trade it in for a new piece and get even more at Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
Northeast Florida's highest-rated residential home electrical contractor is American Electrical, providing unsurpassed quality in Duval, St. Johns, Clay, and Nassau counties. No matter your electrical problem or project, large or small, American Electrical will get it done at a price that's right. High-quality electrician, that's who they are. Trust a company that's been on the First Coast for decades, proudly serving the community while being a big part of the community. Call American Electrical for all your electric needs at 737-7770. Wired right at a fair price.
You want a new fence, but you don't want the hassle. That's why there's Superior Fence and Rail. They're the best in town, offering lightning-fast one-day installations, plus a lifetime labor warranty for total peace of mind. And here's the best part. Book by March 17th, and they'll take down and haul away your old fence for free, up to a $500 value. So get off the fence and call Superior Fence and Rail today.
SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
Royal Pest Services, a local company you can trust. Royal Pest is a certified installer of tap insulation, which stands for thermal, acoustic, and pest control. Reduce that electric bill by adding pest protection. It's that easy. Online at royalpestservices.com.
Sports fans, Max Fink here with 1010XL, and when I wanted to send flowers, the advice came fast. Use Kuhn flowers, they all said. Kuhn can handle anything for any situation. Well, I took that good advice. Kuhn flowers made it happen for me. KuhnFlowers.com.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval Sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval Sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Hey, Hicken here. I couldn't be any happier than to join the George Moore Chevrolet family. When I say family, I mean it. Visit their beautiful showroom today off Atlantic Boulevard. Find out exactly what I'm talking about. No pressure, just friendly help. And whether you want a car, a truck, SUV, electric, pre-owned, you name it, George Moore Chevrolet has it. And if you can't make it over to Atlantic Boulevard, no problem. MooreChevy.com is easy to navigate as any site you will try. It's never been more easy to use. George Moore Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Everything you need to know about the Jags. Jaguars today on 1010XL.
All right, as we wrap up, Tony, taking a look at the Tuesday top 5, most of the submissions we got at the top of the list, for those who numbered them, so I don't know if everyone who just wrote the positions in, was ranking them. But defensive tackle, linebacker, the clear top 2 spots. Edge getting in there a little bit, but I'd put it an overall third. I think the biggest change in day one is just you don't see corner listed as the top 5 need for this football team. That contract Monteric Brown got, he is going to start. You would presume Travis Hunter starts, along with Jordan Lewis in the slot. Got Jarian Jones, you got Christian Braswell. You probably add a couple of bodies in the draft as well, and there's your cornerback room for the 2026 Jacksonville Jaguars. So, as we get ready to wrap up out here at the Players, again, we're just at Trucks on 10, just outside of that as you're coming in to the Davis Love entrance. Hang a left, walk halfway up 10, look to your right, and there in the trees, you'll see some great dining options and our broadcast setup as well for 1010XL as XL Primetime getting ready to take over.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnik. Nimnik Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnik Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
What up, Matt Hayes?
How are you guys?
Oh, we're well. How are you?
Doing great, man.
It's
another wonderful day.
I did not get any 3-year deals from anyone yesterday, unfortunately.
No?
No. I would have taken a 1-year, $10 million prove-it situation as well, just knowing what I was open to, but I think a lot of seats have filled now, and I'm probably going to come back to Jacksonville on a very low tender.
There's nothing wrong with that. Taking a hometown discount.
I'm happy, brother. I am very happy to be where I am. So what do you make of the way the Jags went about their business?
I mean, at the end of the day yesterday, I believe, there were 4 teams that hadn't made a move, and all 4 of them had won at least 11 games the previous year, and one of them was the Jaguars. And I think if you're looking at it like that, you know, you're not a team that's chasing and looking. Clearly, they don't have the money. Clearly, they don't have the money.
Think of it this way. All right. We lost Travis Etienne. How are you going to replace Travis Etienne? Well, how are the Seahawks going to replace the guy who was Super Bowl MVP?
Yeah.
And they let him walk.
Yeah.
Right? And his backup is coming off a torn ACL when you go into next year.
Yeah.
So, you know, and I doubt they're that bothered by it, really.
I mean, there are questions. There's no doubt. But I guess my point is, number one, they didn't have the money. But number two, you know, I'm sure they like their roster. They need a couple additions. There's no doubt about that. But you're in a position where you just won 13 games. That should be the focus of, okay, these guys know what they're doing. You got to give them the benefit of the doubt because they've earned that capital right.
I would say, though, that you could argue that the 2 guys they lost yesterday were 2 of the 5 most valuable players on the team.
I don't disagree with that at all.
Year, right?
I completely
so, you know,
agree,
you did win 13 and all that. And again, I mean, it's a situation they find themselves in. I think for a lot of people, it's the number that Devin Lloyd agreed to, 3 years, 45. Could the Jags have done that? I think they probably could have, which tells me they probably didn't value him at that price point. Because if you could get it done and you did value him at that, and you know that was the top of the linebacker market yesterday. I think that was a little bit lower than a lot of people expected.
Yeah, I mean, I think they could afford either one of those guys. One of the two. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the two.
If I was going to afford one, give me the
passed
linebacker.
on both.
I would rather have the linebacker and try to refresh with fresh legs at running back. But either way, I mean, look, I think, again, I've been saying it all along. You don't have to like every move they make along the way, but I think they've earned the benefit of the doubt after a pretty successful first year. So what are you guys getting into today?
We're going to talk a lot about that. Obviously, the capital they've earned, and we've got college basketball tournaments, conference tournaments heating up, leading into the NCAAs, and what looks like a potential number 1 seed for your Florida Gators. So we'll get into that as well.
All right, Matt, have a great show.
Hi, guys.
All right, there you go. Tony, day 1 of the Players. Rumor has it there'll be several Jaguars on campus tomorrow, as we put it. So hopefully we'll get 1 or 2 of them to drop by. D-Rock scheduled to join us tomorrow to talk free agency. Lance Zierlein from NFL.com scheduled to join us to talk about the draft and maybe a little bit of free agency as well in terms of what holes the Jags have now to plug and how well suited this draft class is to plug those holes. But that'll do it for our time today. XL Primetime coming up next. We'll be out here live all week. Trucks on 10. Thanks again to the Players and everybody at 1010XL for getting us set up. For RJ Saunders and Tony Smith, thanks to Hayes Carline for joining us. I'm Mike Dempsey. We'll be back again tomorrow live in Ponte Vedra with more Jaguars today here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.